Hopefulness day 3. Well, there's my marinara. Still haven't taken care of this shit. Marinara in of itself was something of a... It was a thing. That's for sure. Oh, shit. Problem... It's twofold. So, one thing is, I thought these were tomato paste when I bought them. It's tomato sauce. I don't need tomato sauce. I already have tomato sauce. I already bought tomato sauce in bigger cans because that's all I need. Two, and I realized it when I started making it, was that I don't have any sugar. You might be thinking, well, do you need sugar? Kinda. See, the thing about tomatoes is that they're acidic. And their acidity can get pretty concentrated when you're making the marinara. And so it's a good idea to balance out the acidity a bit with some sugar. It's not a lot. Like, my recipe that uses these two together, I usually double it up, is 2 tablespoons of sugar. That's plenty. That's plenty to help balance it out. Problem is that since I don't have any sugar, it's still pretty acidic. And so it kind of comes through. On top of it, because I used, I'm glad, man. So I usually put hot sauce in, in the marinara. And the recipe that I have calls for 1 tablespoon for each sort of base. So when I double it up, obviously, so if I just do this, then it's only 1 tablespoon each. So I put in 2 tablespoons of Tapatio, and then I was putting in the Scotch bonnet mustard, and I was like, that might be a bad idea. Put in 2, so I only put in 1, and it is sufficiently hot. And so because it is more acidic than it needs to be, and it is sufficiently hot, spicy wise, it's kind of a thing. So I don't know how long I'm gonna make this. It's not gonna be very long. I'm gonna make a grilled cheese. I gotta use the restroom real quick at some point. And today is Monday. I don't have much for laundry, so I'm not really gonna do any. I might still do laundry anyway, just because. Granted, last time I tried to do laundry, there wasn't much for soap and stuff, and I left my soap at storage, so I don't know what the situation will be with that. But one of the main reasons I didn't even take care of myself yesterday is because I was in the process of taking care of the damn marinara, which took longer than I wanted it to, because with the 2 tomato sauces in it, because I wanted to have at least that additional robustness, but I didn't really think about it enough, because like tomato paste is cooked down, and typically it's cooked down to the point where it's on the sweeter side too, which is why I don't even know about the original recipe. It's been 15 plus years now since I picked up a recipe, and pretty much everything is more or less the same, other than a couple of tweaks that I've made here and there. And it calls for 1 basic 6-ounce can of tomato paste. What's it? It's a 28 ounce, I think. Um, I think the original was one size of these for diced and sauce. It was a little on the smaller side. But I started, I don't know, fuck. That's also the other thing too. Like, I used to do it really frequently. I used to make the sauce like all the time. It was always in the fridge. And that's why I was tweaking it. That's why I would tweak it so often, is because it was always regularly there. Like, I'd make it, and then I would, have it store for a couple days or a week or something like that, because it does store pretty well, and it gets really good too in the fridge. That's why, like, I let it sit out, cool down to room temp, and then put it in the fridge. And yeah, so I don't know. It's just like, once I get back to cooking more, I'll figure it out again. Maybe I need one of the big diced tomatoes with the 2 tomato sauces or something. I don't fucking know. But because I bought those cans of diced tomatoes like early on when I was living in the last place that I was living at 2 years ago. And then with COVID and everything going on, and then the lady who was living there was making it even harder to cook, so I just stopped cooking altogether and bought a microwave and a mini fridge and just stayed in my room the whole time. And I got this splotches and everything to fucking clean up, and there was a mess on the floor yesterday, and it's still kind of messy, and I gotta take care of that. Like, I'm not even gonna shave stuff today because, like, I always do it before I shower. I didn't even shower because, like I said, with the sauce, it took like 4 hours to reduce it to where I wanted it to. Because, like, if you put it on too high, you can burn it. If you put it on too low, it won't simmer. So you have to find the right temp. And then, because I get spacey and I'm forgetful, there were times where I didn't have the lid, like, cocked the way it needed to be to help. Because, like, mostly the lid is there to help prevent this shit from happening. And then I forgot it, like, one point, and it started splattering everywhere, and I'm like, I come in here and I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm not happy about that. So I clean up that crap. It's like, this is life sometimes. But I even applied for a job. I applied for a customer service position at manufacturing type place. It's $30 an hour, so I'm probably not going to get it. But it's funny because, like, if I look at super cheap jobs, I don't feel like I could do them. I know I can't do a lot of them just because I don't have the fucking patience for them. But interestingly, when I started looking for higher paying jobs, I was just like, let's look at, something that's like $30 an hour, $25 an hour, whatever. I don't know why, but it felt like a lot of the jobs I could do, which is weird, because I don't usually feel like I can do anything. And this one is just like, okay, I could see myself being in a situation where, I'm not talking to just everyday customers either. It's like effectively talking to businesses. And, you're helping with inventory and whatnot. And it's like communication. I can communicate over the phone, no problem. I've done it plenty of times. People like my phone voice. Like, there was one time, I don't remember where the hell I was. It might have been at the shoe store, but I think I had to get on the phone at one point just because, like, nobody else was available. And even though I wasn't able to really give them what they needed because the questions and whatnot that they had just weren't really, because it was really early on when I was working there. I'm pretty sure it was the shoe store. And when I was on the phone, manager, she was, manager slash owner, she was there pretty much all the time too, and she'd heard me on the phone and she liked what she heard, and so she had me do that a couple of times more often just to kind of see. But I mean, it didn't pan out too well because I just didn't know anything. There was no training really. And I'm finding that to be a little bit more commonplace these days, and I hate it. It's like we need to train people. Like if you're gonna hire somebody, and if you have a budget for them, train them. You shouldn't just approach hiring people as if they're not gonna be there next week or some shit, because then that just throws everything out of whack. It's stupid. But yeah. So I am on the job hunt, and I'm raising my expectations because I need better pay. We all need better pay. I mean, public-facing jobs in of themselves are already stressful enough, and then not getting paid well enough sucks even more. And so it's like, I mean, come on, I'm fucking 40. I've been working on and off since I was 15. I have time, life, experience. There's no reason I should be getting paid minimum wage. I shouldn't even think about working for minimum wage jobs. Nevertheless, minimum wage jobs should still have a higher base pay anyway, because people who are in my position shouldn't have to settle for a minimum wage job and then get fucked over because of it. Minimum wage has not increased in relation to inflation. It not only needs to be increased with relation to inflation, but it also needs to be increased based on regional cost of living. Los Angeles is like $14.25 or some shit now, or close to 15 now. I mean, it's been 2 years since I was employed, and it's had to increase since then. But the thing is like, even $15 an hour is not enough to live out here. It's enough to... It is, but barely. If you're working 40 hours a week, making $15 an hour, then that means you're making $600 a week before taxes. That means you're making $2,400. And I've said this before in a previous video, if where you want to live requires 3 times income, like rent times 3 for your income, you're not going to live in many places, especially on your own. Just not. There's no places out here that are $800 a month that's going to be... I mean, I've looked, and I continually find the same listings over and over and over again, and most of them are scams. So, good luck. Unless you find a place that's like this, and, like they don't verify your income or anything because it started off as under different auspices. But, I mean, double that. Make it 30, and now see, $1,200 a month, or $1,200 a week. $1,200 a week. That's $4,800. Then a $1,500 a month place, which is what this will be soon. After after we have the contract and everything written up, it's going to be a month to month. Then this place is doable, because then it's 3 times, and then I have plenty of money for things like getting a car. I mean, I ain't saying that I want to go out and I just want to, get a $300 a month note or something, but it would be doable. Because $300 ain't much when you're making $4,800. I mean, yeah, $1,500 plus $300, you're already at $1,800, but you still have almost $3,000. You have $3,000, in fact. That's before taxes and all that, of course. So, pay people more. They can live their lives. They can have work-life balance. And it's like, people are like, oh, well, if they raise the minimum wage, then prices of goods and services will go up. They already gone up. Minimum wage has increased for 13 years. Prices are still going up anyway. What's your fucking point? Your point is moot. It has been invalidated. Pay people more. Look for better paying jobs. And, hopefully you think better of yourself than I think of me. Because if you do that, well, then you'll try. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you should lie on your resume and you should try to apply for jobs that you're not qualified for and all that. And I mean, I get it. Try to get what you can, but at the same time, like, if you're a complete waste of fucking space when you're at work, then nobody's going to want you there. So be competent, even if maybe you're underqualified. That's a little different. I'd say, maybe approach it that way. Be competent despite your underqualifications, if that's the case. And know your competencies. And know your strengths and weaknesses. Which is hard, especially if you hate yourself. But if you don't hate yourself, then it's easier. So there's that. So I'm gonna clean myself up. Just gonna take a shower. I'm not even gonna worry about the shaving and stuff. I'll do that probably tomorrow or the day after. And I'll clean up the mess in here. Probably a couple of dishes. I have a few. And, see about applying for some more jobs. We shall see. And also I gotta have a grilled cheese. So I didn't make one this time around. And I'm probably not talking loud enough when I talk like that. I don't know, whatever. Have fun.